Deep in the rainforests of Malaysia, there's a place called Tasik Chini. It's absolutely beautiful, but it also hides a pretty dark secret. Today, we're going to dive right into its murky waters to explore a powerful myth, a lost city, and a very, very real crisis that threatens to destroy the whole thing. So what does that mean? Well, that's a warning from the local Jakun tribe. They believe that when a sudden, violent storm whips across the lake on a perfectly clear day, it's not the weather. Oh no, it's something ancient, something powerful, stirring in the depths. Okay, so picture this. Tasik Chini is Malaysia's second largest freshwater lake, and it's famous for these thousands of lotus flowers that just blanket the surface. By day, it's a total paradise. But the Jakun people, who've lived here for centuries, they believe that after the sun goes down, the lake belongs to its true guardian. To the Jakun, this creature, Naga Seri Gumum, isn't just some monster in the water, it's a deity. They believe this massive serpent dragon is the actual soul of the lake. Just by moving, it can summon storms, and its very presence makes the water sacred. So this isn't just a lake, it's a lair. But here's where it gets really fascinating. Is it all just a cool story, a scary bedtime tale? For decades, archaeologists have been wondering if maybe, just maybe, the whole legend of a guardian dragon was created to protect something very, very real that's hidden under all that water. What if I told you that beneath all those lotuses and the legendary dragon, there could be an entire lost city? I'm not kidding. Archaeologists have put forward this stunning theory that a bustling, prosperous city, maybe from the same time as Cambodia's famous Angkor Wat, was swallowed whole by the lake centuries ago. And look, this isn't just wishful thinking. There's actual evidence. The Khmer Empire was a huge superpower, and its influence definitely reached this area. Divers have reported finding these uniformed, squared-off stone blocks, like the remnants of walls or foundations. You pair that with discoveries of ancient Chinese and Khmer pottery, and the clues start pointing to one thing. This was once a busy trading hub, completely lost to some kind of sudden catastrophic event. So how does an entire city just vanish? Well, believe it or not, the local legends might actually hold the answer. The Jakun have this really powerful origin story for the lake itself, and it sounds suspiciously like the memory of a real-life disaster. All right, so the story goes something like this. A mysterious woman comes and plants a staff in the ground, and she gives this one strict warning. Never, ever touch this staff. But of course, the villagers get careless, they find and kill a giant serpent, and in all the commotion, someone pulls the staff out of the ground. And instantly, a massive torrent of water erupts from the hole, flooding the entire valley. Sound familiar? I mean, could this myth be a metaphorical retelling of a dam breaking, or some epic flood that totally submerged that ancient city? And of course, people have claimed to see the Naga. Eyewitnesses in the last century described these three big dark humps moving at a perfect line right across the water. So what could they have been seeing? Well, science has a few ideas. It could have been a massive reticulated python. These things can grow over 20 feet long, and they make this wavy hump-like shape when they swim. Or maybe a giant invasive fish like the arapaima. Or maybe it was just big bubbles of methane gas bursting from the lake bed. But the locals, they insist it was none of those. So we've got a mythical dragon, a giant python, swamp gas. But what if all of that is a distraction? What if the greatest threat to Tasik Chini isn't some creature from a legend or from nature at all? What if the real monster is us? Because over the last couple of decades, a massive ecological disaster has been unfolding at Tasik Chini. It's like all those ancient warnings were forgotten, and a modern man-made curse has taken hold. You have to understand, for generations, this lake was pristine. We're talking water so clear you could see right to the bottom. It was the lifeblood of the Jakun people, this thriving ecosystem that was even designated as a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve. But today, that crystal clear water is gone. It's been replaced by this murky, reddish-brown sludge that honestly looks more like tea than water. The treasure is literally being buried under a tide of pollution. So what's happening? It's a devastating chain reaction. You've got all this unregulated mining for iron ore and bauxite on the hills around the lake, which leads to massive erosion. So every single time it rains, tons of red sediment wash into the lake. That sediment turns the water murky, which blocks the sunlight from getting to the bottom. Without light, the plants on the lake bed die, the whole ecosystem collapses, and those iconic lotus flowers, they're suffocating. And this quote from a Jakun elder is just heartbreaking. In their worldview, the pollution isn't just killing fish, it's slowly choking their guardian spirit, their god. The Naga isn't thrashing around in anger anymore, it's sick, it's dying. This brings us completely full circle. The myth of the dragon, the story of the forbidden staff. What if these were never just tales to tell around a fire? What if they actually served a much, much deeper purpose? I mean, think about it. The legend of Naga Seri Gumum was basically a brilliant, ancient form of environmental protection. It created a powerful sense of fear and respect. You don't pollute the home of a giant dragon. You don't mess with the water that a powerful spirit is guarding. And that is the ultimate takeaway here. The legend was like a sacred pact with nature. As long as the people held a healthy fear of the Naga, the lake stayed pristine. But the moment that fear was replaced by greed, the moment the lake was seen as just another resource to exploit, that pact was broken, and you can see the consequences. So it leaves us with one last, really vital question. Are ancient legends just stories, or are they a form of ancestral wisdom, warnings encoded in myths to remind us of our place in the natural world? Warnings we're only now beginning to understand, and maybe too late.